So how many of you guys think you can go a day without texting? Okay, what about an hour? Even a minute? Okay, for those of you who haven't raised your hand, could you do it if it could save your life? I assume everybody can. So how come we never put our phones down to stop texting when we are driving? And that brings my topic today, texting and driving. I'm going to explain to you the dangers of texting and driving, the risk that you put yourself in and others in while texting and driving, and what you can do. So, I'm not gonna lie, I still text and drive, unfortunately. It's totally unsafe. I'm trying not to. I usually throw my phone in the back of the car when I drive to make sure I don't, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. And just like I'm pretty sure most of you are thinking in my head, same as me, a study showed that 20% of 18 to 20-year-olds say that texting doesn't affect my driving. And I'm pretty sure you guys are like, yeah, I haven't gotten an accident yet, so clearly it doesn't. And the same study and the district's driving research showed that 30% of 21 to 34-year-olds saying texting has no impact. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't cause me to do anything. And what the problem is, yeah, it may have seemed that you guys, it doesn't affect you now, but it could cause millions of accidents in the future. So these are facts I'm about to state. Karen Hopkins, in his article, 25 Shocking Distracting Driving Statistics, state that there are 2.5 million accidents that occur in the U.S. a year. And that's not just with texting and driving. That includes hit and run, that includes drunk driving, that includes just somebody tailgating you and they just tap you in the back, all of those accidents. There's 2.5 million people who are involved in those. And more than 37,000 of those people involved in the accidents die each year due to accidents. Like I said, not specifically texting and driving, but all accidents, including And 1 out of 4 car accidents in the U.S. are caused by texting and driving. That means 25% of 2.5 million car accidents are caused just by reading a text or something. More facts. So other facts I got from texting and driving accidents statistics. The dangers of texting and driving is it takes the average of 3 seconds after a driver's mind is taken off the road for a road accident to occur. That means you can literally look away for 3 seconds and boom, an accident. You can look away for, and then when you're texting, it takes about 5 to 10 seconds to read the text and to send it back. Unfortunately, less than 3 seconds at a time, you can already be in an accident, either hitting a little boy crossing the street, backing up in a car, or hitting a tree. Every day, 11 teenagers die because they were texting and driving. Although most of us probably aren't teenagers anymore, we're 18 to 20, this applies also to us. Like just picking up your phone texting, like anybody texting and driving risks puts their own life in danger just because you want to send an emoji. Okay, so you are more likely to get in an accident if you are texting while driving or drunk driving. What do you guys think?
Drunk driving.
Studies actually show that texting while driving is you're more likely to get an accident if you are texting while driving. While there are over 400,000 accidents occur just by texting and driving, while there are less than 300,000 a year. And although the numbers are fairly close, the texting while driving number is actually increasing since 2014, and the drunk driving is actually decreasing since 2014. There's also an experiment by Car Driver magazine where they actually tested to see how long it will take a drunk driver, a sober driver, and somebody texting while driving to stop if they put a blinking light on their car. So what they did is they would have a sober driver get behind their car, they'll drive, and then a red light would beep on the front of their car, and then that's when they would have to stop. It wouldn't beep, it will flash a red light. And it showed that it took 0.45 seconds for a sober driver to stop. Whereas the drunk driver, after the blinking light occurred, they still went 4 feet before they actually realized they needed to stop. And a driver that was texting or sending an email took 36 feet, waited 36 feet after the blinking light was coming on in order to realize that he needed to stop. And they also said that it was an additional 70 feet if they were replying to a text message, not just reading. And that proves that texting while driving, you're more likely to get in an accident if you're texting while driving than drunk driving. While drunk driving is more fatal, because there are 10,000 people a year die due to drunk driving, and only 3,000 a year die from texting while driving. You're still more likely to get in an accident if you are texting rather than drunk driving. This is the Jacob Hefter Foundation. I didn't witness it firsthand, but I've talked to Alan and Angela Hefter personally at a HOSA conference in high school. HOSA is Health Occupation Student of America. We traveled to Anaheim for a big conference, and one of the I guess seminars that they had was this one, and they talked about how they lost their son due to a texting and driving accident. It wasn't necessarily a texting and driving accident, it was a texting and train wreck. So this is Jacob Hefter. He was, I think, 18 years old, and he was in the 2008 Chatsworth train wreck. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that, but 25 people were killed and 135 were injured. And in this accident, they saw that the engineer who was driving the train actually had sent a number of text messages back and forth to random people. And because he was texting so much, he never realized that he got the signal from another train saying, hey, I'm coming down the same track, you need to switch trains. He was too busy texting to even realize that happened. And once he realized it, it was too late. They were already on the same track, there was nothing they can do. And the two trains collide head on. The engineer did not make it, and Jacob Hefter didn't make it. And it shows that if you're texting, you don't think about the risk, you don't think about how it affects those around you, you don't think about how it affects you. So due to the engineers carelessly texting, I mean, honestly, if you think, who would have to pay attention to drive a train? You're on one track, but still, that shows that how it really can affect you. So you have to really think about how it can affect you and how can it affect an innocent young boy who had a 4.0, was going on to med school, and was in Cal State Long Beach. So many people like to argue and say, oh, what if it's important? What if my mom is calling me? What if my daughter is calling me? What if I need to use Google Maps? What if I have to use voice commands? Well, if your parent's calling you, pull over and answer, because if they're in an emergency, you put yourself in the same danger as they are if you try to pick up the phone. People say, oh, I have to look at the map. Okay, well, if you guys know this is the 21st century. The map has a voice command, so it can say throughout your whole car, so you won't have to look at your phone. And I know what you guys say, oh, I can just use voice commands. Well, okay, a study, it says using voice commands to text while driving more dangerous than talking on the phone shows that it's actually more dangerous than while texting. Because you sit there with your phone and you're constantly saying, oh, hey Siri, text Dad that I'm on my way home. And then Siri comes up and say, texting Dad that I'm never coming home. And you're like, oh my God, you need to fix that. You don't want it to send. And so you literally start typing it out and take both hands. By example, Siri does not always relay your messages. Siri doesn't relay your messages right. It frustrates you and makes you mad to where you have to actually reach for your phone instead of just using the hands off the mat. So after hearing the dangers and the risks that after hearing the dangers that texting and driving has occurred in the past couple of years, after seeing the risk, you may want to ask yourself, what can you do to prevent further dangers and prevent anybody else from getting hurt? One thing you can do is spread the word. The dangers of distracting driving says that if you spread the word, if you tell your friends or family, don't text and drive, if you put a reminder up, like in your car, or if you travel with them, take the driver's phone away from them and offer to send a text for them, offer to do the things that they would do on their phone for them. Another thing you can do is lead by example. Don't text and drive. It's not that simple, obviously, because like I said, millions of people still do it, unfortunately, but they just haven't got into an accident to witness it firsthand. So, like I said, there's also this app that you guys want to add. It's called Cell Connect. It actually, it actually monitors your driving. If you keep it on there, it tells you, oh, okay, you've been driving, perfectly fine. You haven't picked up your phone the whole time, and it rates your driving each time. And it tells you, oh, you sent a text message, you need to stop that, or next time you may get in an accident. And it actually tracks to see how far you're driving, and it basically rates your driving and tell you how great you're driving. So, if you ask yourself, if you want to sacrifice your life and the life of somebody else just to send an emoji, if you think that it's okay to, just quickly pick up the phone, let somebody know you're on the way, if you really think that you want to be one of those 37,000 people who die a year, go ahead and pick up your phone and send that text. But if you don't, if you want to save a life, if you want to save your own life, I encourage you to stop texting while driving. Thank you.